For the past 30 days, I played a professional Counter-Strike 2 player's aim routine to see how beneficial it would be towards my aim, and well, here's what I found out. So a little over a month ago, I came over a pro player known as the name of Styko. He posts a bunch of educational content on YouTube, and he posted his complete aim routine and went super in depth. As someone who's familiar with aim trainers and a bunch of other methods to improve their aim, I am not new to anything like this, but I thought, what is it like to use a professional level aim routine? So for the last 30 days, I've been playing this pro aim routine every single day to see just how much I would improve, and I got some pretty good results. But first we gotta take a look at what this actual aim routine includes, and it includes a bunch of different things. Not only are we gonna be using aim trainers like Aimlabs to improve our aim, but we're also gonna be taking a look at what we can do in game by using workshop maps to improve. But enough of me waffling, let me show you what this exact routine looks like. So starting off with our out of game stuff, which is gonna be using Aimlabs. Aimlabs is an aim trainer that you can use to really focus in on core fundamentals when it comes to aiming. Styko uses an aim routine that actually isn't created by him himself, but he actually has a coach that works for a company called Voltaic. They are essentially a big aim community, and they have a bunch of aim coaches that are basically grinding aim labs in games like Kovacs all day long, and they have insane aim, and they basically put him together a nice little routine so it'll focus on his weaknesses. And that's something that we definitely need to remember. This aim routine is created towards his weaknesses, not your or my weaknesses at all. So there's definitely some minor tweaks that you can make to this routine that will help you improve even more. When it comes to what he's using in game, he's using the map Aimbots as well as CS stats for a general warm-up, and he likes to use another map called Recoil Trainer. He says he uses every time he comes back from a break to the game to get his memory fresh on spray patterns. Now let's get into my experience with this entire routine. So starting off, let's go over the Aimlabs stuff. So like I said, I've been playing this single playlist every single day for the past 30 days, and well, it's worked a lot for me. I found that the maps that he has in this are very beneficial, especially the ones that go over tension training. There's one is tension tracking, where essentially you're changing how much pressure you're putting on your mouse depending on a light, and it's good for practicing. Because me personally, I have a problem where I put a little bit too much pressure on my mouse and it leads to shaky or just bad aim in general, so it's a good thing for me to train. It also has a lot of target switching, which is something I like. I mean, it is one of my strengths, definitely not a weakness, but it's definitely enjoyable to play. The only map I actually don't like is the Valorant 10s map. It lasts forever, and to me, it gets my wrist a little bit strained. But now let's get to the good stuff. Let's talk about in-game training. In-game training, in my opinion, is the most beneficial for any new player or even players at higher levels, because at the end of the day, you're playing Counter-Strike, you're not playing Aimlabs. Aimlabs can be great to build fundamentals, but it's not the same as actually shooting people in-game. So now we're in Aimbots. Aimbots is the start of Styko's routine as when it comes to in-game training. Now the thing with Aimbots is that a lot of people get this wrong and what they should be doing in this map to see the most progress. I see a lot of people simply going up to the bots and clicking on them like this, just going for one taps while standing still. And while this might be beneficial if you're a new player, it's really all not that beneficial for more advanced players because you're not getting the most out of your training. What you can do to drastically improve your performance and just get better much faster is by adding counter strafing while you're moving when you're shooting these bots. You can still go for those one taps you want to, but make sure you are always moving around and you're practicing your counter strafing. But if you want to get the most performance out of this, I would recommend counter strafing and going for little bursts. Try to control your recoil as much as you possibly can, just shooting simple 3 to 8 bullet bursts at the most. Just doing this over and over again is a good practice because you're always counter strafing in game. It's very rare where you're sitting in a corner and you're completely standing still and you just get a free kill. Most of your duels are going to be while you're moving. And that's pretty much all he does for Aimbots. Aimbots is really a thing that you can utilize as much as you want to, but typically I recommend anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes until you feel ready to hop into some deathmatch. So here we are. I am right now in a deathmatch on NA. I use prac.com for all my deathmatches. I find that has the best quality of players, as well as a lot of NA pros play on it, but it could be different depending on your region. So let's talk about how you can maximize your performance while playing deathmatch. When it comes to deathmatch, I like to really focus on crosshair placement, making sure that I'm always aiming at some sort of head level, and also making sure I'm counter strafing all the time. Another thing I like to do is I try to get into as many duels as possible. I'm always hunting for players. I'm not really sitting around and just getting free kills, because at the end of the day, that's not going to help you improve. You want to get into as many duels as possible while you're counter strafing and while you're keeping that good crosshair placement. I also like to switch up a little bit in terms of how I'm shooting people. Like sometimes I'll just go for the little one tap, other times I'll try and go for full sprays. It really just depends. You kind of want to have it well rounded so you get the most practice possible. I think deathmatch is probably the most beneficial thing that you can do in this routine, and it's the most basic and simple thing that everyone says to do. It's because it covers all areas. You're getting counter strafing, crosshair placement, your general aim, flicks, target switching, literally everything. So typically what Styko likes to do is play this for about 30 to 45 minutes, goes for about 250 to 300 kills, and that's what also I recommend as well. Towards the end of the month of doing this routine, I started to do even more kills, like 400 to 500, but it really depends on how much free time you have and how much improvement you're looking to see. And there you have it. That's pretty much the most and the core of what is happening in this routine for Styko, but I like to add my own little twist at the end of the routine. After I'm done Deathmatch, I like to hop into a Refrag. Refrag is a paid service. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. It's just something I find very beneficial, and I like to play 3 different modes. I like to play Crossfire, Xfire, and Pre-Fire. These 3 modes kind of cover all the different bases, and it's generally just a more condensed way to improve, and they put you in a bunch of different scenarios that I find really helpful. Pre-Fire, in my opinion, is the most beneficial out of these 3, as it kind of trains you to keep your crosshair in these different positions that are common for players to be in. So overall, my kind of conclusion after using this professional aim routine for 30 days is that this is great. If you're someone who's looking to see improvement, no matter what level you are, you will see a ton from using this. Hey you, listen up. Something I forgot to mention is that at the start of this routine, I started about 2200 to 2300 elo, and by the end of the routine, by the end of the month, I was nearing that challenger stage, which is about 2650, which was my peak. Just thought I'd add that on in case any of you guys were a little bit skeptical of whether aim routines really do work. I do think more people need to be using aim trainers like Aimlabs that are free, because it's kind of looked down upon in the CS community, whereas in Valorant and like games like Fortnite, it's really looked up upon. A lot of people use aim trainers because it's super beneficial, especially if you're on a lower level and you need to build those basic fundamentals. And one thing I do need to mention is that people will use this routine as a warm-up, and that's where a lot of people go wrong. You do not want to be hopping onto the game or your PC for the first time and playing this routine. You're not going to improve nearly as much on something like this if you haven't warmed up beforehand. I recommend playing this either after your warm-up or at the end of the day before you get off. Another thing I like to add on is make sure to add your own little twist to this routine, whether it be through the Aimlabs playlist or something in game, because a lot of us have different strengths and weaknesses when it comes to our aim and just our overall ability in game. So make sure you add your own little twist that will target your weaknesses. Anyways guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys do enjoy this. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And of course, shout out to Styko. I copied his full routine, and you go check out his video down a link below. I'll also make sure to go join my Discord, as I have a bunch of resources like aim routines, warm-ups, and more. If you want to go check that out, link is in the description below. Anyways guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.